Hi guys, welcome to the unit 4 of problem solving using Excel. We are going to continue on our series of problems and we are going to look at advanced filter and pivot tables in this particular unit. So let's quickly get on it. We are given with a data of the cars that are being manufactured or sold over a period of 4 years, and using the advanced feature we are asked to extract the data based on certain parameters. Okay, now how is advanced filter different from filters? So filters does things within itself. However, advanced filters allows you to do an extract of that particular section based on the criteria that you have provided, and can this extract can happen within the same worksheet or within a different worksheet if you need. Okay, so let's look at how we can make use of these advanced filters. So in the first criteria we have using the advanced feature extract data for passenger carriers with sales amounts which is more than 50,000 for the year 2009 and 10. Okay, so how are we going to use this? Okay, so first thing that you have to do is, when you are making use of advanced filter, make sure that your data columns are exactly the same as your data set. Okay, so I have created this data columns over here which will be used for our criterias. And since they asked for passenger carriers, so I'm kind of looking at the passenger carriers, and I think I found it in the segment passenger carriers, right? So I put it over here because we are going to extract only for passenger carriers with the sales amount which is greater than 50,000. Okay, so for the year 2009 and 10, what I have done is over here I have entered greater than 50,000. Okay, so once I created this, what you need to do is select your data which you want to extract from, go to the data set and click on advanced filter. Okay, now whether you want to fill in the place or to copy into another location. So if I say copy into another location, what is my list range? So the list range is automatically selected here. Let's select the criteria range. So I'm going to select the criteria range which is here. Okay, and where do I want to copy to, whether it's in this sheet or next sheet, it's up to you. For the training purpose, I'm going to do it over here itself. So I'm going to use it over here and click on OK. Okay, so we found passenger carriers greater than 50,000. Let's check whether it's fine or not. So there are passenger carriers here, two places, and this one is less than 50,000 and this one is greater than 50,000. So we have one record set that it should get populated. Okay, so that worked. Okay, let's delete this over here, and I'm going to use the second criteria. So for the second criteria, passenger carriers with sales amount between 10,000 and 50,000 for that year. Okay, so we are creating an AND function. And how do you do that? Again, you define your columns just exactly like the data set, and where you have, for the column that you need to have an AND condition, add another column for the same thing. Okay, you put in your criteria, so segment passenger carriers, and for the year 2009 and 10 we said we needed to have values between 10,000 and 50,000, so you add those criteria over here. Okay, so greater than 10,000 and less than equal to 50,000, sorry. Okay, we come back again, select all, click on advanced. I'm going to copy to another location. List range is already selected. Criteria range, this time it will change because I'm using another criteria. So I'm going to select this. Where do I want to copy it to? I'm going to copy it here. All right. Okay, so now it has passenger carriers which are between 10,000 and 50,000. Okay, so let's look at that. Passenger carriers. Okay, so 46,000, and then there was this 34,000. Okay, sounds good. We are good. Okay, so I'm going to delete this and we'll make use of the third criteria. So how are we going to do that? Now we want to extract the commercial vehicles which had sales amounts greater than 50,000, or any vehicle with sales amount greater than 3 lakh for that particular year. Okay, so either the sale vehicle, commercial vehicles which are greater than 50,000 or any vehicle which is greater than 3 lakh. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Now we are looking at OR function. Okay, so for OR functions, we do not use create the condition in the same row. We have to use another row for that. Okay, over here we use the condition and condition in the same row, right? Over here, since it is an OR condition, we have to use another row. Okay, so we put in the category. Now commercial vehicles, I found it over here only. Commercial vehicles and total commercial vehicles, I don't know why, but it represents a total, so I left it out. If we wanted, we could have another category and use that as well, but I'm for ease of purpose, I'm going to just use commercial vehicles here. For 2009 2010, greater than 50,000, and for any vehicle greater than 3 lakh. Okay, so this criteria I have defined here. Let's look at Control A, advanced filter, copy to another location. List range is already there. Criteria range, I'm going to change it, and now this time I'm going to select all the 2 rows, copy to same location as last time. All right, okay. Okay, now somehow it has picked up the grand total as well. Sorry, that's my bad, but I should have removed it from my data set before. Anyway, so any vehicle greater than 3 lakhs, let's check. That sounds okay. And commercial vehicles which is greater than 50,000. So is there any commercial vehicle less than 50,000? Let's check. Yeah, we have this and it's not included, so we are okay. Okay, so that was the advanced filter. It can be useful. Most of the times we use a normal filter, but since a normal filter feature everybody knows, I mean, I'm not really going to dwell much into it. In case anybody has questions, do let me know on that feature. Okay, now let's quickly move on to the pivot table. Pivot tables. Okay, so pivot, what are these pivot tables, right? I mean, pivot tables are something that is a feature that is generally used in order to make sense out of data, and that is something that is done very quickly. Okay, and again, and we are going to look at 2 different problems to help us understand this. So we have been given this raw data of the sales rep selling different types of motor vehicles and what is their sales amount for that particular motor vehicle, right? And if we see this particular guy Ranjan shows up again and again for different types of autos, right? So how do we know and how do we make sense some sense out of this data, right? So let's create a pivot table. Now the first thing that we are supposed to do is total sales amount by sales rep and auto. So this is pretty much a standard feature. Let's go and click on insert tab. We click on pivot table. We click in a new worksheet. We come up here. Now we want the sales rep on the left, autos on the columns on the top, and the sales amounts, which will be the values that we want to work. So this is pretty straightforward. I hope everybody knows this. Okay, and the other thing that you could have done, I mean, had this been a period over period data, we could have used a percentage of the previous year or previous column and things like that. Okay, but since it's different for motor vehicles, let's just keep it simple on this one. Right now, what is the next problem that we are expected to do is use the sales data, prepare a pie chart. So we are looking at a pivot pie chart that depicts the breakup of sales by auto. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to select the whole data again. I'll click on insert the pivot table. All right, I'm going to create a new sheet this time again, and this time I'm going to create sales rep. And let me just use the sales. Okay, I'm purposely not putting the autos. I could have done it. It's just that I want to show something else so that it will be useful. Okay, so these are the sales reps and these are the amount of sales. Let's create instead of pie chart, we can create a if you want a pie chart, I mean, it makes sense. So otherwise, let me just do one thing. Here are my autos. Okay, and once I have this, I'll probably just use the pie chart. Okay, here's my pie chart. Right, this is what I want, and then I can use this, and that's my pie chart. This is pretty straight, but let's do a little something little different. Okay, so I'm, instead of autos, I'm going to move this up. I'm going to do it by sales rep. Okay, now the pie chart, because of the number of sales reps we have, pie chart really doesn't make sense. So let's change this to something else. Okay, so I'm going to change my chart type. I'm probably going to make use of a line chart. Okay, line graph. I think it should be fine. All right, and I just want to ease this out a little bit. Okay. All right, so this is my line chart. Now, other thing that you can do with the pivot charts is we can add some slicers, and that really makes the graphs and this whole thing as very interactive. So when I click on insert slicer, I want slicer by autos. Okay, and then I can basically come here. These are my 4 autos. So if I want to see the data only for one of the type of motor vehicle, it will be, for example, Toyota. You can see here the data for that. If I click on Honda, Ford, Chevy, or if I just clear out the filter, then you will get the whole data. So this is some basic pivot table feature that we can use, or which are frequently used. Guys, if you have any clarifications on anything, do let me know. But this is the end of the unit 5 and end of problem solving using Excel for beginners. Okay, and I'm probably going to schedule another session for advanced concepts, which will have functions like some product, making use of tables, and some dynamic named ranges and dynamic charts, basically. Okay, so keep watching my channel, and thank you so much. Thanks.